Arsenic and uranium in private drinking water wells in Massachusetts. What's going on here? We're taking a look at MassGov because this could be a huge potential problem. So there were a lot of questions asked. Why might arsenic and uranium be present in private well water? Well, some of New England may contain naturally higher levels of arsenic and uranium in bedrock than other areas of the region. And arsenic can be found in two different forms, organic arsenic and inorganic arsenic. The inorganic forms of arsenic are generally found in groundwater and pose a greater health concern than the organic forms of arsenic, which are present in some foods, fish, and considered less toxic. And through natural processes, arsenic and uranium can leave the rock and enter the groundwater. If the groundwater containing arsenic or the uranium serves as a private well, then arsenic and or uranium may be present in the well water. Now have studies done to evaluate the potential impacts of arsenic and uranium in well waters located in Massachusetts, and the answer to that is simply yes. Beginning in 2008, the U.S. Geological Survey, USGS, conducted a study to assess concentrations of arsenic and uranium in private bedrock well samples and collected by private well owners in Massachusetts. And the USGS and the Massachusetts Department of Environmental Protection, MassDEP, jointly funded the private well, and the purpose of the USGS private well sampling study was to assess correlations between the mapped bedrock geology and concentrations of arsenic and uranium in well water. And the USGS researchers analyzed water samples from 478 private bedrock wells in 116 area cities and towns and found that 13% exceeded federal drinking water standards for arsenic and 3% exceeded standards for uranium. And based on the information available on water testing results, the probability that an individual's well possesses an immediate health concern is actually low. However, the USGS study indicated that it is prudent for well water owners to have their own wells tested. Now, was the Massachusetts Department of Public Health, MDPH, involved in the USGS study? And the simple answer is yes. To address any potential concerns about individual health impacts associated with arsenic and or uranium detected in private well water samples, the MDPH offered urine testing as a public service to a subset of participants in the USGS study. And urine testing allows for the interpretation of the individual's water testing results in terms of possible health impacts, and results indicated some of the 37 individuals who participated in the urine sampling had arsenic and or uranium detected in their urine at greater levels than those typically detected in the general population. And what are the potential drink effects associated with high levels of arsenic or uranium? Well, short-term exposure to drinking water of inorganic arsenic, parts per billion, may lead to nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, cardiovascular effects, brain effects, as well as decreased production of red and white blood cells, impaired nerve function, and long-term ingestion of drinking water with low levels of inorganic arsenic may lead to a pattern of skin changes. There will be patches of darkened skin, small corns, or warts on palms, foot soles, and torso, damage to the nervous system. Several studies have shown that long-term exposure to inorganic arsenic can increase the increased risk of cancer, including lung, bladder, liver, kidney, and prostate cancers. Now, what are the potential effects associated with high levels of uranium in drinking water? The primary health effect from exposure to elevated levels of uranium is kidney damage. However, most of the effects seen in humans have been due to high short-term exposure, and some occupational studies have shown a reversal of kidney effects after exposure ends. And chronic exposures can result in kidney effects. Health effects from exposure to naturally occurring uranium in drinking water associated with chemical toxicity of uranium. And the US EPA set its drinking water standard to uranium primarily on its chemical toxicity. But as a precaution, also consider the potential for uranium to cause cancer after a lifelong of drinking water exposure, under the assumption that any constituent has radioactive properties could cause cancer. So, what are the current drinking water standards for arsenic and uranium? The public drinking water standards for arsenic and uranium are 10 micrograms and 30 micrograms per liter of water, respectively. Drinking water standards are set by the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency to protect public health, and they're based on individual consuming 2 liters, approximately 2 quarts or 8 cups of water a day for a lifetime. And actual health risks depend on 3 key factors: the level of arsenic and uranium in drinking water, the amount of water actually consumed from the private well, how many years the water is consumed, and the risks are reduced if individuals ingest less than 2 liters a day or consume the water for less than a lifetime. And you can find more information here, but the main thing is that arsenic and uranium in private drinking water wells should be a big concern. Now, how do you know if it's there in the first place or in high levels? You have to have it tested. That's why it's always a good idea to periodically test your water.